back with another episode of Debt Collection 101. This is a new episode for us. It's all women today. I'm Ashley. This is Tracy, our Director of Marketing. And we have a special guest that we have Amy Perkins from InsideARM. She's the president, so welcome.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right, so I guess tell us about your background and why you decided to get involved with the Women in Consumer Finance Conference.
Okay, great. So I've been in debt collections really the majority of my career. You know, I think we all say it, nobody knows how they end up here, but here I am, and it's been a really great ride. I started with a collection agency back in the day, and then I moved on to Bank of America and Citizens Bank, where I ran operations, ran strategies, analytics, which has really been the bulk of the back half of my career. And then a couple of years ago, I joined InsideARM. Recently, well, I guess last year, got promoted to president, and have really been enjoying the strategic aspect of InsideARM. We really work across the industry, designing handcrafted events, working with leadership groups to influence regulators or influence policy and procedure and innovation. So it's been really neat to take a different spin on the industry by being here with InsideARM.
Nice.
Awesome. It's really great to see InsideARM investing and empowering women. Can you talk a little bit more about how this conference came about?
Yeah, so while I was with Bank of America and Citizens Bank, and really throughout my life, I've been a huge advocate of educating women and really creating communities of women that are inspired and influenced and built in a way that really encourage us to work together and give each other a hand up. So last year I was talking with our CEO, Stephanie Adelman, who is very much in support of women across our industry and has lived that throughout her career. You know, I came to her and said, hey, how would you feel about us as a company really standing up for this, you know, in a real way and trying to make a meaningful difference. And we thought we would start with a women's conference and do a light launch, which we did last year. And then we're going to build this into more and more events and opportunities and things that we can do together, really, again, to keep the momentum that we get from the conferences, to build relationships with one another, make them memorable and lasting relationships, again, so our community can start helping each other a bit more than I would say we do today.
That's awesome. Cool. Who do you think would benefit from attending this conference?
You know, this is a really good question because everyone, you know, a lot of women assume, oh, this must not be for me. Maybe I'm not senior enough. Maybe do I have to be a C-level? Do I have to be a manager? Really, this is designed for all women at all levels of their career. You know, for me as the curator of the event, you know, I've been in most of the roles that most of the women who are considering this have been in, and we really design it for everybody because I think about the woman I was when I was 25, when I was 35, you know, I'm almost 43 now, and I can think of where I was at each stage of my career at those different, just happens to be at those ages, and what I would have needed at that time. And we try to make sure that our agenda really does cater to women at all levels of their career, regardless of, you know, age or race. We really want there to be something for everybody that's within the consumer and commercial finance world. Our target market is obviously, since InsideARM supports collections and recovery more strategically, we have a lot of great representation there, but this really is open to all women at all levels across consumer and commercial finance.
Yeah, and we're so excited because one of our reps is actually attending as well, so yeah, she's going to have to let us know how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's our first time going to the conference too,
yeah.
So.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you guys.
Good.
So one of the sessions that I saw discusses imposter syndrome, which is like a really big topic right now, especially for women. We found the one study showed that 70% of professionals experience it at some point. Why do you think this is this mindset of inadequacy is so prevalent now, especially with women?
Yeah, you know, it is something that's not unique to men and women. You know, I like to call that out a lot, but it is something that is especially challenging, I think, and very common with women. I know for me, until I reached a certain point in my career, every time I got promoted, I was like, oh my gosh, am I really qualified for this? Do I meet every specification that's there? And how long if I get this role until I'm found out, until they realize I'm not as good at something that they thought that someone thought I was, or that they put this, you know, they bet on me to do this job and maybe I'm not going to be able to be successful. I'm going to let them down. I'm going to let myself down. And the more when I talk to, and that study shows it, I think this is a very common thing. And I think confidence down to confidence. And you see this throughout our agenda a lot. Really at the heart of a lot of our topics is really building the confidence in ourselves to say, hey, just because you might not have had that experience or just because you haven't done that thing yet, you have a history of success. Most of the time, most of us have done things that we've been able to succeed at. And we'll find a way to build the skills in the areas we don't versus, automatically thinking, gosh, I have to be perfect at everything before I'm qualified at anything. And it's definitely a mindset that we'll get into. And so what we'll talk about at the conference, we'll have a number of women who will share their stories. And honestly, it's women that probably when people look at the agenda, they're like, this person is so confident and they've been so successful. They couldn't possibly have had this insecurity, this feeling of, not deserving the role that they're in. And you'll be really surprised by the stories they tell that almost all the women who have broken through that and become successful, at the C-level or executive level or whatever you want to consider to be a senior level, almost all of the women have faced this. So we feel like it's an important topic for us to continue to address at the agenda, to really get to the heart of, what plants those seeds of doubt and how can we acknowledge and come up with actionable things to overcome that.
So why do you think it's so important for women to have a voice and an influence in the consumer finance industry?
Yeah, it's study after study after study has shown that companies that have more diverse leadership or more diverse makeup within their company, there's a correlation to profitability every single time. So there's certainly something in it for companies and managers who are evaluating and saying, what do I get by investing and sending this woman to this conference? What do I get back? Well, in addition to my dog is making a total
yes. It's so cute.
Oh gosh, he's such a camera hog. But anyway, we just really feel like that this conference gives back to companies by helping promote a more diverse workforce. And this is something I've been so passionate about from the beginning. Any table that I have sat at as a leadership at the leadership level, the more diverse it is in all aspects, the more unique thought and creativity and the better we are at having healthy dialogue and debate and arriving at ultimately what is the best answer for the company, not what's right for one person or another. So I think creating diverse cultures, but also cultures that are just generally inclusive of people's thoughts and ideas and opinions just make better companies. As far as what's in it for the women who come, I have to tell you, last year we had so many testimonials from women who said, I've sort of felt alone coming up within this industry. Sure, everyone has, their sidekick, their friend, their key go-to colleagues, but I think a lot of women just haven't had a place to go where they can sit and look at someone else and be a little bit vulnerable and say, I have these doubts too, or I have these challenges too, or even though I seem like this on the outside, I'm worrying and concerned about these things too. And the power that women have said has how much it's empowered them to go back and know, hey gosh, this isn't just something that's wrong with me. This is something that other women who have proven to be successful have been challenged with too. There's a tremendous amount of power that I think women leave this conference with. And not just that, but I work so hard to really make sure this is designed in a way where women make true, meaningful connections. We've heard so much about women who have stayed in group chats, created book clubs, published one another's articles, interviewed each other for different things that were relevant within their careers. Like, it's opened up so many doors for women to build and have these new relationships that go beyond just bumping into each other at a standard conference and saying, hey, let's get drinks sometime. Like, we really do focus on the relationships here and building this capital C community, and not just an event for women to come to once a year.
Nice. Well, that sounds great. Hopefully next year I can go to your conference, because it sounds like it's really interesting, and really building relationships is great. So cool.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think it's been, we weren't sure where this was going to go. We said we would start a little test pilot one last year, and we had around 110 women. We're cresting over the 200 women mark so far. Yeah. And we still have a couple of months to go. So for me, everyone I talk to, they're like, I just get so jazzed up and passionate about this. I really do, because I honestly believe if women can find a way to break down the barriers that keep us from working together and supporting one another and lifting each other up, I think that we could really be unstoppable and helpful in so many meaningful ways to each other throughout our careers and help us in our personal lives and our professional lives. When you're doing work like this that you love so much, you're in the right spot. And I definitely have a passion for this and can't wait to help impact as many women as we possibly can.
Definitely.
On that note, do you think there is one singular most significant barrier to women taking on leadership roles? And what advice would you give women who like to advance their careers in the consumer finance industry?
Yeah. Oh, it's really tough to say if there's one thing, but I think the biggest thing for women is we have to get out of our own way. I know that there's a lot of debate about that. Is it wrong of me to say that we are our own problem? Who knows? But I don't think that we are our only problem, but I do think that there's a lot that women can do to work together to really make this lasting difference. And I think a key part of how we can do that as a community is to do events like this and come together and just talk very candidly and very openly about the things that we're challenged with and why we think that is, and those actionable steps that we can take leaving an event like this to really go back and make that difference. But I would say that the biggest challenge with us, I think about it in my own career and at different stages of my career when I've gotten, different feedback. Sometimes I was in a place to receive that and grow from that. And sometimes it took me learning the same lessons, hitting my head against the wall a few times before I broke through that. But, a lot of times people will say, oh, is this an anti-man event? No, it's not. It's actually exactly what I'm talking about, which is I honestly believe if women can turn and sort of work within themselves and say, what are all the factors within my life that have sort of brought me to a place where, I might be lacking in confidence in a certain area, be it communication or believing you belong in a particular role or that you're capable of much more. I think if we can get our minds right within ourselves to have more confidence going after those things, then I think the opportunities are there and we can continue to break down those barriers moving up. And if you think about it, I know this is a long-winded answer, but one of the examples I always give is I've seen so many really great qualified men help other men get into roles and make those big leaps that are sometimes the really hard leaps. Once you've had proven success at one level, someone making a bet on you and taking that to the next level. What I would see with a conference like this, or just with a community of women together, I'd love to see more of those things happen where women are calling other women to say, hey, I've got something I think might be a little bit of a stretch for you, but we'd like to take it. We'd like to take that stretch with you, so that more and more women who are out there who are qualified will be known and will be recognized by their peers, in this example, other women, to help do just that. The combination of confidence plus that hand up from someone else really is the formula that helps all of us succeed ultimately.
Yeah. This is great. I mean, we don't have any more questions for you, but do you want to add anything else before we end? Or
maybe you can give a shout out of the details for the event so people know where to look for it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go on and look at our agenda. You can register at www.InsideARM.com/women. Lots of great info, lots of great session details. We will be in Scottsdale, Arizona, December 11th through 13th. So the more women we can get together, the bigger impact we can make and the bigger difference I think it'll make for all of our attendees. So we're excited to see as many of you as possible come and join us.
Well, thank you so much. Another great episode. Thank you, Amy, for joining us, and your dog. That's awesome.
So sorry about that. It's one of the risks of working from home. Thank you. I really appreciate you guys having me and being open to talk about this subject, and hopefully we reach some people that would love to come and be a part of this. So thank you so much.
Definitely. Well, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.